Mom, do we really have to play the Thunder again? Well, I guess so. It's going to be that time again. But we have a lot to be thankful for on this Thanksgiving week edition of the Sunderous Dunks podcast. It was a great 2-2 week, capped off by one of the best games of the year against the Thunder. Uh, we've got an orange out here on the screen, still showing the cup court because even though the Phoenix Suns lost, they still made the semifinals of the NBA Cup. They'll have to play the Thunder again on December 10th. But if it's anything like last night's game, I'll take 82 more of them. The Thunder came in favored by 14.5 points, not giving the Suns any respect, even though the Thunder have played the weakest schedule in history so far. So, of course, they're beating teams by 15 points. I've heard, strength of schedule is everything, right? So they finally played a good team, and we just left it all out on the floor. Guys are breaking their ankles trying to win the game. First, Jordan Goodwin hurt his ankle. And then in the last few seconds of the game, Colin Gillespie diving out of bounds, trying to save the ball and save the game. Couldn't quite get it, but he hits the scores table, hurts his ankle. I still haven't heard whether he and Goody are good to go for tonight's game against the Nuggets. We'll see. But man, what a game. Our team is just all hustle, all effort, and I could not love it more. It's the only bad thing about last night's game was that stupid blue court. What is that? That is like the ugliest shade of blue I've ever seen. All the colors contrast really poorly with it. It just looked awful. And the game started really slow. It's a really defensive game with both teams missing a lot of shots. But Mark Williams, that was an interesting thing last night. He only played 22 minutes, but he had 14 rebounds. But apparently he was having some issues on defense. So Oso played just as much as him. He played 21 minutes. They left Mark out almost the whole last 5 minutes, but then they bring him in with like 30 seconds left. And he's a pretty key part of the last couple sequences there. So, Jordan Ott's been really good this year, but to me, it's a little bit of a questionable decision. Mark Williams, of course, has been such a huge part of our team all year. Even last night with his issues on defense, still getting the 14 rebounds is really key. And then if you're going to bring him back in the last 30 seconds and you think he's important to have in there to try to win the game, why are you keeping him out the final 5 minutes? I really don't understand that. Oso played pretty well. Certainly one of his better games, but I thought that coaching was definitely a little bit questionable. And when we play the Thunder again on December 10th, we'll see how the rotations look like. But, it was a really tough game last night for Book. He finished with 21 points. Most of that was from the line. He only went 5 for 13. And then Brooks, 19 points, but 6 for 18 shooting and 2 for 9 from 3. And the worst problem was we had the 18 turnovers. The Thunder, of course, lead in that category, but we've got to be better. We cannot turn the ball over 18 times and expect to win. But we only lost by 4. And I've got to give our Suns Twitter shout out of the week here. And this is going to be from AZ the GOAT at Suns_better. And he says, the one thing we did learn is the Thunder are beatable. And that's absolutely right. Their margin of victory this year was like 16 points a game. and we held them down to 4. So at Suns_better says it really well there. We'll be playing these guys again on December 10th, and we'll see if we can pull it off this time and advance in the Cup. And, the rest of this week, of course, played out much like most of us expected. We beat the Spurs by 9 without Wemby. We lose to the Rockets by 22 without KD. And then we beat the Kings by 12. That Spurs game was really interesting. We only had 6 turnovers that game, really took care of the ball, was led by Book and Brooks. Book had 24 and Brooks had 25. No problem in that game. And then we have to go on the back-to-back. We lose to the Rockets by 22. We just couldn't defend. We let them shoot 48% and 41% from 3. And Amin Thompson had 28 points. And we just could not stop him at all. He just made us look too small. And it was a good game for Dillon Brooks. He led the way again with 29 points in that game. We had no Mark Williams in the back-to-back. So Nick Richards had 11 rebounds. And apparently Nick is having his birthday today. So happy birthday, Nick Richards. And of course, then we played the Kings. We forced 19 turnovers from them. We out-rebounded them 47-41. This game was all about Mark Williams and Colin Gillespie. Mark Williams, 21 points, 16 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block, and 9 offensive rebounds. He was a man among boys. They could not stop him. And then Colin Gillespie, what a week for him. And in this game, he had 21 points, 9 assists, and 2 steals. And so when we talk about stock up for this week, the first has to be Colin Gillespie. He is now playing 30 minutes a game. He's starting. He's shot over 50% in 3 out of the 4 games this week. He shot 46% in the other game. He leads the NBA in catch and shoot 3-pointers, shooting 53%. This week, he averaged 19 points a game. Colin Gillespie, we need you. I hope you're not going to miss any games with the ankle. And man, Villain Jr., you have earned that moniker. He just leaves it all out on the floor, just like the second guy in our stock up this week, and that's going to be Jordan Goodwin. He averaged around 27 minutes a game this week, and he had 11 points a game this week. He had 2 steals in 3 out of the 4 games, and he averaged nearly 7 boards a game. This guy is all over the glass, especially the offensive glass, and other teams don't even know what to do with him. He just comes out of nowhere. It's just absolutely amazing. And for the second week in a row, our final stock up has to be the guy that is getting this week's Sunderous Dunk.
Westbrook tied up. Bouye gets it. Drive to the basket, and Bouye brings the boom.
Jamare Bouye. He has been amazing. I'm starting to wonder how Brian Gregory finds these guys. He's just picking anyone up off the street, and then Jordan Ott makes them look so good. And at this point, I'm thinking maybe I should sign a walk-on with the Suns, maybe get a 2-way or something. Maybe I could average a few points a game. Maybe I could have some game. I don't know how we keep finding these guys, but he has been amazing. The last 2 games, he's played 19 minutes and 14 minutes. He scored 11 points and 9 points. And, the Kings game, he made 3 3-pointers. And against the Thunder, the toughest defense in the league, he shot 4 for 6. This dude is a bucket. When guys like Grayson Allen and Jalen Green return, I don't know if he can stay in the rotation. But this kid is a player, and I just hope we can keep him around. Jamari Bouye, keep balling out. But it can't all be good. We've got to talk about the stock down too. And I'm going to give all the spots to the guy that just had a really tough week, and that is Devin Booker. He just had his fifth straight game scoring under 25 points and shooting worse than 40%. Now, he's been doing a lot of other things. He's been playing defense, he's been rebounding, he's been a good leader. But when we have guys like Jalen Green, Ryan Dunn, and Grayson Allen out, Devin Booker has to be better. And right now, he just is not doing it. I think when Grayson and especially when Jalen return, that'll definitely take some of the defensive pressure off Devin Booker, give him more creators out there, and he'll be able to get some better looks. But it's been really frustrating for Devin Booker so far. He finally got to the line 11 times against the Thunder. That was great to see because he just has not been getting the calls this season. But even when the refs are not giving you that call, he's just got to be a little better. I think it was the Ringer came out with their list of top players, and they had him 12th in the NBA among top players. And if you're going to be the 12th best player, you've got to be doing better than scoring less than 25 and shooting under 40%. So let's take stock of where the Suns are now. They are 12-8. They are still the 6th seed. They have 1 game up on Mini and 2 on the Warriors. Finally, the media is noticing that this Suns team is for real. The latest power rankings I saw had a 7th in the league. I don't think anyone expected we would be 7th in the league at any point this season. Some team stats. We have the steals. We are still tied for the first place with the Thunder at 10.6 steals a game. We are second in opponent turnovers after the Thunder. We're tied with the Pistons in opponent turnovers. We are 7th in offensive rebounds at 13.2 a game. We are only 26th in defensive rebounds. So as great as we're hustling on the offensive end with guys like Jordan Goodwin coming in and getting those offensive boards, we have got to be better on the defensive rebounding. The turnovers have gotten worse. We are now tied for the second worst with the Blazers. Only the Jazz are worse. But we are 6th in three-pointers made and 5th in three-point percentage at 37.7%, even with guys like Grayson Allen missing so many games. Taking a look at player stats. So steals, we have one guy in the top 10, and he's even in the top 5. Who do you think it is? Could it be Colin Gillespie? Could it be Jordan Goodwin? No, it is Dylan Brooks. He is 4th in the league, averaging 1.8 steals a game. Dylan Brooks coming over in the trade, doing everything we thought, being the defensive pest, but scoring way more than we expected. He's just got to keep his shooting percentages up. But Dylan the villain getting those steals. Mark Williams is 17th in rebounds a game at 9.2. We really need him to up that a little bit, get it over 10 rebounds a game. But he is 9th in offensive rebounding with nearly 3.5 a game. So he's one of those big reasons that we're doing so well on the offensive rebounds. When you look at three-pointers, Grayson has fallen to 17th in three-pointers made with his injury, but we still have 2 guys in the top 10. So, of course, Stephen Curry leads with 75 three-pointers, but we have Royce O'Neal at 7th with 64 three-pointers, and Colin Gillespie is 10th in the NBA with 56 three-pointers. That is amazing off the bench. If Colin keeps shooting like that, although, I guess he is starting the last couple games, but man, Royce and Colin keep making those threes. So let's take a look at the upcoming games this week. We've got a really tough week coming up with the Nuggets, the Lakers, and the Rockets. Tonight, we play the Nuggets at home. Both teams are on the back-to-back. The Nuggets just lost to the Spurs last night and got knocked out of the Cup. But the big thing to watch tonight is the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic, is questionable with a wrist injury. So we'll see if Jokic can go. That's really going to be the big issue. If he doesn't play, I think we definitely win the game. If he does play, we're still at home. We got a great chance. Of course, the Nuggets are number one offense, but they're only 13th on D, and they are 26th in steals and 25th in blocks. They do not get the hustle stats. They are the anti-Suns. They are the opposite of us. And if we bring the hustle, whether Jokic is out there or not, we have a great chance tonight. And finally, we're not the only team on the back-to-back. It's both teams. So let's go out there and get it tonight. And then we head out on the road. We've got to play the Lakers. Of course, right after we possibly play the best player in the league, we've got to play the second best player in the league, Doncic, who's averaging 35 a game. And, Jokic, Doncic, I think I'm just going to change my name to Sundo-itch. Maybe then I'll have some game. Maybe then I can get that two-way with the Suns and score a few points. I don't know. But the Lakers, they are 14-4. They are second in the West. They have won 6 in a row. It is time to beat these guys. Somehow they still love DeAndre Ayton. He's averaging about 16 and 8. Been getting a lot of love from the Lakers fans. I want Mark Williams to go in and punk him and show him that they should have traded for Mark Williams. They should not have vetoed that trade. Let's go, Mark. Take down DA and take down the Lakers. Then we have to play the Rockets on the road. It sounds like KD will be back. Even if he plays in that game, I don't know if we're going to see KD in Phoenix this year. The only other game in Phoenix for the Rockets will be on April 7th. Will we get a tribute video for KD in Phoenix this year? I don't know. But we play them in Houston this week. Can we stop Amin Thompson? Can we battle on the boards? It's going to be tough. Even if KD misses that game, I would expect a loss in that one. But even with all the injuries, I think we're going to go 2-1 this week. I think we'll beat the Nuggets and the Lakers. And hopefully you guys can have a good week. You can enjoy your leftover turkey, your prime rib, your sweet potato or pumpkin pie, and have a great week, Suns fans. See you next time. Suns up.